spend some time, it's true. Yeah, I'm down with you. Won't you come down with me? Open up your eyes. Look into the sky. Do you ever wonder why we die? 'Cause I do, and I don't know what it's like to walk on through, and I don't know what it's like to walk on through. Open up your eyes. Look into the sky. Do you ever wonder why we die? 'Cause I do, and I don't know what it's like. Open up your eyes. Look into the sky. Do you ever wonder why we die? 'Cause I do, and I don't know what it's like to walk on through, and I don't know what it's like to walk on through. I want you, unite this fire. I want you.
So y'all can hear me. Let's see about that. Now it's working, I think. Okay. Good. I have headphones now that are connected to the stream, so I can. It's weird though because it's laggy. Cool, but the levels are good, so I can put that away now. Anyways, so what we got here is what we worked on last week. This spinner. There's some other bits that I would like to work on, and we might actually get into that. But I might go into some of the stuff. So I'm just like trying to peel off some gunk that's on my computer monitor. We might get into the what is it called? It is called a virtual machine. A little bit, And as always, like if you guys have stuff that you want me to cover in particular, let me know, and I will eventually start coming out with more videos. So I have a YouTube channel. It's in the chat. And I'll come out. I have some that are actually like they're not just streams. They're not just kind of stream of consciousness streams, which a lot of my streams are, at least right now. They're a little less orderly, but I have more produced videos that are there, and I'm gonna add more. And if you have requests, like one of them was to do how to re-image a Mac, which I still haven't done. Sorry about that if you're watching now, but I will get to that. It's just I hit a bit of a brick wall hardware wise, so I might just have to do that re-image on this computer. I didn't want to do that. That was kind of why I was holding off, but I got stuck because of iCloud lock, and I couldn't get past it. It was an old password. It wasn't a computer I owned. It was a family members, and they don't know what their password was, so it's kind of out of luck. Really went down a rabbit hole trying to figure out workarounds to get past the iCloud lock. I mean, there are ways, but I can't. Maybe I just got sidetracked. I don't know. I'll come back to it later. But so here's the code. And you can see it's very small. And did we do this? Yeah, we basically just did this off the cuff last stream. And all I did. Okay, now I gotta like think about how I'm gonna do this here, because I started at like what 12:50 PST time, and I'm trying to keep these an hour. Normally I start at 10 a.m. and for this coding systems admin sysadmin type of thing from 10 to 11, and then from 12 to 1 I do StarCraft 2 namely. This is gaming basically. I try to do it like less than an hour, but sometimes it gets to an hour. Anyways, so I guess around 1:50 we'll end this one. Coffee is still hot. But yeah, we basically spun this up. And I think make sure that this is not too loud. Is it too loud? Okay, good. Good. I'll just keep an eye on this, every now and again to make sure that the levels are good. This is a new experience for me now, having headphones that I can use that don't correspond to the endpoint that I'm using. So this was the initial code right here. It just gave you a prompt in the command prompt, and it just says spin, and then the input is nothing. So underneath it's just blank, and then it doesn't matter what you put in there. You just press enter, whatever, and it'll spin. Then we changed that so that it took an int. So we had to change the input type, which was like some type of raw, or I can't remember what the input type was. Maybe we'll even look at how to do that. How to check an input type. I mean, how to check at the a type of like a variable, or not a variable, of I am blanking on the words right now. I didn't sleep much last night. I was actually out playing a game. This new zombie defense, well, it's not new probably, the zombie defense game. StarCraft 2 again. Anyways, oh yeah, and if you're in the Northwest, I hope that you were staying safe from the smoke. Staying safe from the smoke, because it was bad. It was bad. It's like the AQI almost hit 300. At least, I mean, I'm sure it did in some places, but in Seattle, and Redmond, and Shoreline, places that I frequent, it was bad. Like that. And okay, so ADHD, right? So then what happens is we cast the variable spin into an int. So this is the previous code. This was all in the command line, terminal, whatever you want to call it, bash, and basically, cool. Here still good levels. Make sure the music's not too loud. It sounds super loud in my headphones over there. I wonder if that's bleeding through at all. I don't hear it bleeding through. Yeah, it's not bleeding through. I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix that later. Anyways. It's too late. Oh, that's why. There. That fixes that. Okay. And are we still good? Oh. Okay. Businesses of order. Yeah. So this was all in the command line, if you missed that, and it's just this. This was all that was needed for this code. Then we leveled up. We got this code, so we had to import random, and then that was it. Right. This was the entirety of the code. Obviously, these weren't commented; they were uncommented. And then we said, all right, we're gonna make this. And as you can see, it has an input field, but fucking what, 100,000 right there, 100,000. Oh, that's a big number. And just, you know, based on that number, it'll just give me a random. I mean, eventually maybe I'll get one. Probably not. But as you can see, it just gives me random numbers between that. So we go down one. Oh, okay. 10,000. Oh, I got it. 26. That's interesting. We'll go to 1,000, and then it just gives these random numbers. And that was the whole point of this. And if you missed why I'm doing this, it's actually for the stream. So I'm probably gonna make this look nicer, and also like not do that where it just can look at that. I can just shrink it all the way to nothing. That's not what I want. So we might even go into formatting that. But what the point of this is once I have or every first of the month, every first stream of the month, I'm gonna do this, and then out of whoever is in the chat, I'm gonna basically make a number. So like the total number once we get like nearer to the end of the stream, basically, and I'll roll the dice with the spinner, even though it's not really a spinner at this point. It's just a random number generator, and that's fine for now. Hopefully we can turn it into an actual like Wheel of Fortune spinner. That's the end goal. It's not there yet. Quite clearly. Sorry about that. Smoke still in my lungs. It was bad, folks. Northwest was on fire, and not in a good way. So yeah, so then basically, if there was 5 people in the chat, then I would run this once, and then okay, so then the 4th person, not the 4th chat line, but like the fourth person to enter the chat and start blabbing away, talking, saying stuff, would be the winner of making you a free beat or a composition. You could say I want like a beat that sounds like this or this kind of music, and then I will just do my best effort, and then I will give you that free beat. I will put that beat in my store. I sell beats and all that, and the links are in the chat, and they'll be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. But yeah, so you'll get a free beat, free composition, so like maybe a classical, orchestral piece, game music, theatrical, more like cinematic music, even just like background listening, meditation kind of music, whatever. Typically I'll probably just do like 3-minute songs. If you really want something long, I might do that for you, but it's not gonna be like, it's gonna be kind of repetitive. If it's gonna be long, like 30 minutes. So probably just keep it in the 3 to 5 minute range, to be honest. But that's what this whole project's about, and it's basically done. This is functional enough for me for now, and maybe we'll later add those other bits to it. So let's maybe look at how to check the type. I think you just type the word type and then put a parentheses around the thing. How to find type. Yeah, it is literally just type. Okay, so we'll try that out right now. Right here, and we're gonna say type int. I think that's not gonna work. Okay. That was weird. Okay. 5. Type 5. Is it gonna give me int? Okay, so there we go. I don't know why when I did type on int itself it gave me type, but I'm sure that makes sense. Type 4.5. That's gonna be a float, I think. Yep, float. Okay, and then type, and you can do this in other programming languages. Java. I don't remember how it is in Java. We'll go over that at some point. Right now, this is in Python. Type hello. That's gonna be a string or str in Python. Which I forgot that's how they call that class. What's another thing? Ooh, how about is it this? Is that how you do it? Okay, no, didn't like that. I think it's with a capital F. Let's see if we can give it Boolean. There we go. Bool. We got it. Bam. Take a bite out of this maple donut. Fuck yeah. Normally I don't pay. Okay, I don't spend money on stuff unless I need to. But it was just one of those weekends. I was also sick last week a little bit for half of the week. Probably because of the smoke. Okay, if someone is actually trying to talk to me, okay, good. And feel free to reach out in the chat, my friends. I like to think that we're friends. I know we don't know each other. Well, maybe we do. Some of my friends actually do watch my chat, and I appreciate that. But yeah, so those are the ways to find the type of something, which can be useful if you're troubleshooting, for sure. Like, say you're like, why is this not working? I mean, you'll probably just see it in the traceback, but I'm sure there's other things I can think of. Like, here, it told me right here, name false is not defined. Did you mean false? That's cool. It knows that it's supposed to be this. It's just telling you you need to capitalize the F, buddy. So, what's another type? Anybody out there? What should we try typing? Type. We get. I wonder, is there big integer? Big integer for Python. Big num. Number. Let's see what a number. Well, okay. Let's just type this. So that's still int. Okay, that's not big enough. I don't know why I can't hold down the 0 key, but I'm just okay. Oh, it's still an int. Wow, that is way bigger, I'm pretty sure, than an int that you could get in Java. That's pretty astounding. Let's see how far we can take this. I want to see big num. Oh my god, it's still an int. What the fuck? How big? I've definitely surpassed this, so it's kind of breaking, or I don't know what's going on with that. I'm just not gonna try doing that. I'm gonna try to think of something else. Ooh, okay. We'll do this, import random, right? And then R equals random dot rand int 0 to 100. Actually 0 to 99, right? Let's keep it scientific. Okay, let's keep it whatever. Type of R. Cut. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it would still be an int. I feel kind of stupid for assuming that it would give me random. Okay, let's see. What other types could we make it show? Yeah, I mean, okay. We can import tkinter, and then text. T equals, whoa, text. No, it's probably not gonna let me do that. Let's just do window equals tkinter dot tk. Hey, okay, cool. So it opened itself when I did that. That's interesting. Type window. I didn't mean to put a space there. I just did. Look at that. It knows that it's a tkinter dot tk class. The subclass thing is kind of weird to me. I think that's what's going on with the dot there. But yeah, so type is great to know that stuff. I know we just went down a rabbit hole for no reason. Totally random. I'm biding my time trying to think of what we should go over. So these are apologies. These are the things that I've written down. We did briefly go over them last week. But what do you want me to cover? Feel free to chat or put a comment in YouTube, and then just come over to the live stream. I mean, I guess, or just wait for it to come out on YouTube too. But yeah, so we have command line basics, and oh that's weird. Oh, it paused it. Okay. So, sorry, I paused the stream that shows me what's going on so I can make sure that it's all on the level. File type inspection and modification, permissions inspections and inspection and modification, firewalls and firewall management, Python, virtual environment setup. We went over all this a little bit, but if you want me to dive into something particularly, we will get there eventually. But if you want me to start there, let me know. If there's something I didn't say here, and you want me to cover it, I will. Obviously, if it's out of my scope of understanding, I will maybe try, but and I'll learn about it, but I probably won't do anything too much more about it. All right, so let's just close this for now. We'll get out of this, and yeah, I was gonna show a spin up of a RAID at some point, and another thing I wanted to do. I should have quit out of all this too. So, I'm using a lot of processing power here. So this is VirtualBox, and this is a VM in VirtualBox. Just get rid of that. That I have Windows 10 on with no license, but you can still do a lot of stuff, which is nice. Maple donuts are the best. I'm telling you. Right now, I'm actually working on a WSUS server, or WSUS server. That's a Windows Server Update. Windows Services Update. No. Fuck me. It's an update server for Windows. I'm just forgetting how to say it. Stands for Windows Server Update Services. I was getting there. Sort of. But yeah, WSUS, WSUS server, or WSUS is a Windows Server Update Services. This is a weird way to say that. Like, why don't you just call it a Windows Update Server? WUS. Windows Server Update Services. It doesn't make sense grammatically in my mind. Strange. But yeah, and not only is it strange grammatically, but it's strange to use. I hit a lot of bugs, and my colleague has too, just trying to get it to work. never set one up before. It's interesting. I'm getting some results in, but I think the first thing I'll do, which is in my opinion way easier, is just a WDS server. A WDS server with MDT. So WDS server is a Windows deployment server. So I guess you could, maybe WDS stands for Windows Deployment Services. WDS. Windows Deployment Services server. Okay, yeah, so you would call it a WDS server, a Windows Deployment Services server, and it does that. It deploys. Why is my fucking Windows 10 updating? Oh, Windows. I should have not set it to auto updates, but whatever. It's fine. So WDS allows you to re-image computers over the network. So you use a NIC, you connect, a network interface card, and that's what a NIC is. WNIC is a wireless network interface card. So your Wi-Fi, your wireless fidelity is a WNIC. On the WLAN, which just means wireless local area network. LAN is just local area network. It's a wired connection. It's assumed. You can have both have W's. That would be really weird and confusing. That is really cool. And what you can do is you can have it not only install. So I mean, this is obviously more for enterprise stuff. But say you every now and again. I mean, it doesn't even have to be enterprise. Like, if you have a small office, it's nice to have. There's a lot of applications for it. Like, if I get to the point where I'm running a business like that, I will most certainly actually use the WES server, unless I find some Linux alternative that I like better. Because what's great about it is you can make an image. Well, it's not necessarily an image. You can do that, but I use MDT. I find that easier because it works better with the tool, in my opinion. MDT is Microsoft Deployment Toolkit. I use Workbench, which is basically the MMC tool, the thing to interface with MDT and do all that work to build out what you might call an image. Technically, my colleague told me, and he was right, it's not an image. It is a set of rules with which to deploy your image. I mean, you do have an image, but then you're just installing the image instead of flashing it, instead of imaging it. But what's cool is you can make it so that it'll automatically update during the installation process. You can have it run scripts, whether it's PowerShell scripts, bash scripts, batch scripts, so command prompt commands, or let's see what else. I think you can even implement group policy, which I haven't got to yet, which I am going to be doing soon because of another project I have. I'm sorry this is taking so long, guys. I think I'm just burning up too many resources on this 2011 iMac. But yeah, so what's cool about it is that, I mean, you can have these preset images. So like, say you have an office or like you have a company and everyone should have the same setup. Like, you want them to be on this version of Windows. You want them to have these certain things turned on, and you want them all to be just updated. So it's like out of the box. So you got a new employee, you re-image the computer. Say someone leaves, or maybe you just you're growing your staff size. Either way, you want to wipe over the computer and put your custom image installation, all that on there. That's what it lets you do. WDS lets you deploy it over the network, and you can use MDT without the network, which is cool too. I like doing it over the network more, personally. I just think it's easier because you just plug into the network and then you run it, from there. You have to press the right key, F12, F8, F9. It depends on, your BIOS. It depends on what the manufacturer likes. Like for Windows, for Windows computers, it's F3 typically, or a lot of the Surface products, it's always going to be the minus key. I think I might be switching that around. I think the plus key for the volume does the BIOS configuration, and then the other one does the actual boot sequence. I can't remember which one is which. It doesn't matter. But everyone's different. Every manufacturer does their stuff differently a little bit. And then you run it, and it's hands off. You don't have to do anything else. You already have all the presets made, and then it just does it. And then your new employee or your returning employee, we'll say new employee, has a computer all ready to go, all the updates, all the configurations, bam, done. Nothing else needs to do. They just log in. And you can even have it join the domain. Yeah, so if you have a domain, if you know what that is, which it's not the same as a web domain, internet domain. That's at all. But it is the word domain used properly. It's a network type of. Let's see, how do I describe it? It's LDAP is what it is, essentially. Well, no, it's not right either. But it uses LDAP, and LDAP uses it to communicate and authenticate. It's essentially a way to have like a database of users and say that, fucking finally. Yeah, okay. And I don't have this to have any password just because it's just a test box. It's only for messing around. And I already just lost my train of thought there. As you can hear, my nose is stuffy. I probably shouldn't be drinking coffee, but whoops. Yeah. I will be doing a WDS one on this. Not on this particular video and not on this box, because this is Windows 10. You want to do it on a Windows Server 2022, 2019, 2016. I think that's, and then whatever else for that. I would suggest just doing 2022. It's the newest Windows Server. I'm using it. It's fine, I think. Unless some of the issues I'm experiencing are just because of the 2022 server. It's possible. You never know. There's nothing wrong with reading the literature about it, see what people complain about, and then also just using an older version, slightly older, like 2019. I don't know why they skipped around in years. They just did. But yeah, so I think I was gonna go into this one for a reason. I don't remember why exactly. I think I'll just keep prattling on about WDS for a sec here. So what I could do with WDS is this computer could just be imaged freshly from that. In fact, I think I have the Windows Server 2022 image somewhere. Maybe. I got notes on Haskell. You guys like Haskell? Haskell's cool. It's a, is it an imperative language? I think it is. Wow, these notes aren't gonna load. They're from 2019. That's old. Alright, anyways. I think I can find, let me just see if we're still. Okay. The music sounded really weird for a second there. But I do make weird music, so maybe it's just that. I thought that I had some disk images here. It's okay, I have them in here. So this is my RAID, which we'll go over how to do that too. I'm probably just gonna use it with Raspberry Pi, but yeah, the ones that I have that are functioning are actually with old Asus computers that are running Ubuntu servers on them. No UI, because if you don't need to go on the desktop, there's no reason to use the UI. To be honest. Oh no, more wildfires. I think it's gonna get smoky again. I really want it to rain more. Please pray for rain for me in the Northwest, guys. We could definitely use it. Oh man. Okay, so disk images might be in. Disk images. Oh yeah. So here's my. Oh nice. Oh wait, no, that's not the server. Okay. Well, this is. That's that one. I'll have to download the server another time. I guess we can go over how to do that though. Mini. I really want to mess with this Alpine standard. It's a super lightweight version of Linux, distribution of Linux. Windows. That was spelled terribly. 2022. I just want the ISO. Oh man, my computer keeps freaking out. It's doing way too many things at once right now. Windows Server 2022. ISO. I think it's right there at the School for Good and Evil. Ooh. Maybe I'll watch that later. Yeah. Okay, this is where I can get the evaluation, download the ISO. So yeah, I guess we just go replace. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think you have to fill this out, which is not. It's fine. I have a version. I have an ISO somewhere else. Maybe I have it here. Server 2022. If I had it here, I'll just grab it. And no, okay, I don't. Alright, so I guess that's what it is. You just come to here, bring them like that, and then you hit download ISO, and then it brings you over to. Oh, I'm kind of silly. What happened? I clicked this one, and then in addition to your trial experience, Windows can easily there's features man. Download this ISO. What's the difference? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is here, folks. Do you guys? I'll show this in the Finder. And well, it's gonna take too long, but I'll play with that later, and we'll have a little server to mess with. But yeah, so what's great about VirtualBox is it can be used on Linux, Windows, and Mac. Personally, if you have a Windows, just use Hyper-V. I think Hyper-V is great. Hyper-V. They're both hypervisors. A hypervisor is an application. This is an application that allows you to build and run virtual machines, which is what this is. This is a virtual machine. Obviously, this is a Macintosh. Well, it's an iMac, and I'm running Windows 10 inside of it in a virtual machine, right? It's a great way to do lab work, and also with hypervisors like this, you can just run it, have them running, and then you can have multiple computers and just less hardware. I use it for lab work-wise, and I mean it's kind of standard where you have redundant hardware, but it's like one motherboard maybe with lots of CPUs and lots of RAM and lots of storage space. Well, I mean storage is not really integrated into the computer exactly. Well, yeah, it is. But you also have separate storage and SANs and all that stuff. And then you run multiple virtual machines on top of the bare metal is what it's called, and then that allows you to, and I know I said I was going to do coding stuff. We did some coding stuff in the beginning. If you want me to go back to do looking at some coding stuff, I will do that right now at the drop of you telling me Casper is in the chat and someone else, and I appreciate your presence here, whoever else you are. I always appreciate Casper's presence. He's always here. My guy, Casper, always got my back, you know. If he didn't already realize this, I'm a really weird dude. That's just part of who I am. I think I like doing that because I feel like people should just be weird and relax about it. It's relaxing to be weird, to be honest. I'm weird with my friends. I'm even weird with strangers. I mean, I guess we're not too much of strangers at this point since I've just and really, really weird. But just like rambling off topic. That was supposed to sound so much cooler than it did. Yeah, so these are great for this. Great for lab work. You know, if you don't have the computers, it's a great way to understand them. Like if you're a Macintosh user, you can tell I'm dating myself just by saying Macintosh. Like it's an old term. I was born in '90s baby. You know. But yeah, Macintosh, Apple products. You use VirtualBox hypervisor is a hypervisor. You put virtual machines like Windows on. Doing it with Apple is something I haven't done yet. I've had trouble with that. I do want to figure that out because I think that would be awesome. I think part of it is that this is really old hardware and it might just not be able to run it because despite being virtual, it still needs a certain level of processor to run, right? And excuse me, Apple is well, they're Apple. I like Apple. I like Windows, and I like Linux. I don't understand why people don't only like certain types of operating systems. I think it's cool to know how to do multiple ones, especially if you're in the industry. Like if you're gonna work on computers, you should know how they all work. Because I mean, unless you just want to specialize in one kind, which is fine. Like beamers, right? If you're a beamer mechanic, that's very specific kind of work, and if you know that, I mean, if you specialize in that, I don't think anyone would fault you for not learning other kinds of car types. One, because you make a good amount of money, and two, because it just takes a lot more finesse, a lot more knowledge to just really specialize in that. And you know, there's something to be said for that. But at least having specialize in Apple or Android or Windows or fucking Asus. I know it's the hardware. But know the other ones. Be comfortable enough to navigate, because you never know it. Especially dude, if you want to be a hacker, you should know. And I'm not saying you should hack for bad. I'm just saying if you want to be a red team type hacker, black hat, not black hat, but black box, red team. So one of the good guys doing black box. Black box is where you don't know shit about what the system is, or very, very little. It's good to know more systems, right? The more you know about all systems, and the more you understand how they work together, how they work by themselves, the more you can crack all systems. If you only know one system, you're really only going to be able to crack that one system. I mean, you might have some good guesses, and having specialization, depth of knowledge is great, but having breadth of knowledge as well as depth is good, in my opinion. And my opinion's correct. So that's gonna take forever to download, but I will do that. So cool things that you can do in hypervisors with virtual machines is, now this might be obvious, it should be, but it also might not be, and that's fine. Just because it's virtual doesn't mean it's not coming from somewhere. It's virtual because it's not running directly on the hardware, but yes, it is running directly on the hardware. It is using the hardware. It's not like you can magically, Casper can't create a Casper computer to Casper compute. No, that's not how it works. It is utilizing the actual hardware. So I can only go up to a certain maximum here. Let's see if we can. So the storage space, it's gonna max out at my storage space amount. Obviously you don't want to do that. You want to carve off a little piece of your storage, and if you can add more, with a real server, that's what's great about it. It's very modular. You can add CPUs, you can add RAM, lots of it, and you can add storage space, lots of storage space in a modular way. It's meant for that. Regular computers are not so much, but you can at least play around with it and get an idea. It's just keep an eye on your storage space. Don't overcapacitate. Don't put more storage than you can. I think it stops you, but still, just keep an eye on that. Then there's the disk encryption. Where is storage? Network system. Okay, yeah. So here, base memory. That's memory. That's RAM. That's random access memory. That's what RAM means. Which is not storage. They're different. Storage is non-volatile memory, basically. So I guess you could call them both memory, but one is it's the zeros and they're all zeros and ones. It's the stuff that's printed on the disk. So when you turn off the machine, it saves that. Doesn't matter. And that's what's great about spinning disk drives, hard disk drives, HDDs. They use a spinning magnetic platter, and then using electricity and fields, you create ones and zeros, or representate things that are representative of ones and zeros, and they're read and wrote, in a way, and it's like, understood by the computer, right? And that's more electrical engineering stuff, which is great, and I like that. I'm not gonna get into that, but so there's that. That's RAM, different. Storage, different, but they obviously still use zeros and ones. RAM is just volatile, storage is not. Now this is so I added 4 processors, and I guess I should have kept this up here. This has, I'm guessing, 8 processors, right? 8 CPUs, which seems like a lot, and I'm kind of surprised that it does, because it says i5, Core i5. I don't know how that's actually possible, because I thought that meant 5 CPUs, but I also don't know a whole lot about hardware. Like, I'm not a hardware dude, I'm more of a software kind of dude. I need to get better at my hardware stuff, but yeah. So here's the RAM, obviously. So that is 8 gigs. 8,192 megabytes is 8 gigabytes. I mean, there is nuances between mebi and mega and gibi and giga, but it doesn't matter too much. But that's something to keep in mind when you're doing virtualization with virtual machines, because if you can only go so far, and that's why it's good to have a dedicated workstation for your virtual machines that it just runs virtual machines. Obviously, that's not what I'm doing here, but I'm not using it for really any workhorse stuff. I'm just kind of fucking around, just here's my Windows 10 box. Oh, look at that. I have Windows 10. I was using it for testing, I think, earlier, and then I'm going to use it for videos like this. And the Windows server, I'll use it to demonstrate deploying that. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do that in the same way I do it on Hyper-V, which is the built-in version of, it is a hypervisor, just like VirtualBox is a hypervisor. Yeah, so you want to adjust these things to make it run optimally within reason, within the ability that you have. If you're just joining, feel free to ask any questions. I got some stuff in the chat there. I did start late here. Just one of those Saturdays, okay. And we did go over some coding stuff from last week, and it was Python. I just made a random number generator UI. It was fun. And now we're talking about VirtualBox hypervisors, a hypervisor called VirtualBox, and VMs. And this VM here, it's just a Windows 10 box. You can see it's Windows 10 because of the Windows 10-iness of it. Windows 11 looks different. Not a whole lot different, but it does look different, especially on the box. I guess one of the things that we can go over right now is looking at file type differences. And okay, again, this is just stream of consciousness at this point. I am trying to carve some time out to make these more deliberate. At this point, they're just not, as you can see. Oh yeah, I think I did kind of go over this because I can see that. Yeah, I did a whole thing on trying to get this script to work, which I finally did. That was like 3 weeks ago. So this clear desktop script, something for work, just to clear off the desktop on one of these publicly used computers. And it's really rudimentary. And I was just kind of going over how to show and the importance of knowing the file extension, because unlike when you're using terminal or command prompt, you don't see the file extension here in the UI, in the graphical UI, so that no one's trying to say hello. And it's important to be able to see that, especially if you're trying to make scripts and such, because if you don't, it can look really weird. Like, let me just, alright, we'll show the file extension. And one of the ways that you might create, like the way I created it, actually, we'll just do it like this. Huh? We'll just open up a note. Man, I do need a new computer though. I'm sorry, folks. And maybe I'll just try to figure out how to optimize this puppy. So, how about we just echo hello. Okay. And this is going to be a batch script. Nope. I'm going to do that. Save. Batch script. We'll put it on the desktop. And I think that it might actually just work, but let's see. Hello.cmd. And okay, so that did work, which is cool. And what is that going to do? Okay, the pause is there just to make it so that we can actually see it. Otherwise, it would just kill immediately. Hello. And it just puts the command there, and then it echoes it. I guess I could do. Is it at echo? At echo? It's not that. It's something else. I know it's something else. Let's still try it though. Echo is on. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Alright. Let's try this again. We're gonna delete this, and then we're gonna save as. Oh, go away. Delete. We're gonna save this as. Fuck. I keep doing command save. Oh shit! It saved itself again. Damn it. Okay. Open up a new one. And again, feel free to tell me that you want me to cover something specific. Ask a question, and if you're not watching this live, just I get back pretty quick on the comments. So just ask me a question. I'm here. That's what I'm doing here. Just trying to share knowledge, learn with people, all that good jazz. All right, what's a PowerShell command that we could do that would be fun? Let's see. Any suggestions? Any takers? Any ideas? How about we? What is it called? We can just copy. I know that there's like a make file PowerShell. It's so easy to. New item. Ha. Okay. We'll just do new item. And then we'll put the path to. And we'll just do a trick here. Env user profile. Yes, that should be right. And whack. Desktop. Whack. Test. Dot text. Ooh, dot txt. I almost fucking did that. And then we're gonna go ahead and type in. Yeah. Dot ps1. Okay. Now you can see you might even know, like, this is wrong, right? It should be this one. But say you forgot to change that and you saved it and you ps1, it's still going to prepend. Like, see how it doesn't. Wow. Okay, it works now. I don't know what was happening. Maybe there was like an update that came through and they fixed it. But before, and maybe it was because I just changed stuff. It was still adding, and I mean, if you were here for the last one, you would have seen it. Let's just run it, see what it does. Let's check it out. Is it gonna do what it's supposed to, or did I mess it all up? Huh? Oh, the execution policy didn't get changed. Yeah, we're gonna change it. Oh, look at that. There's a text document called test with nothing in it. Yeah, so scripting, cool, yeah. I will be wrapping this up now because it is time for StarCraft 2, to be honest. But again, if you have questions, feel free to, in the last couple seconds here, reach out in the chat. And if not, as always, comments in the YouTube video. I will be working on making these more deliberate, and tune in next Saturday. Hopefully we'll be doing this at the right time of day. Then that's 10 a.m. for this portion, and then 11 a.m. for the StarCraft 2. I'm just gaming because I like gaming. Oh my god, I'm so stuffy. It's terrible. Okay, cool. And this is downloaded. It looks like I already downloaded it once. I think this is not what I thought it was. I'm just gonna delete that one. I don't need multiples. Oh, cool. That doesn't work. Okay. Yep. Alright, well, thank you all for joining, and I will see you in the next stream. StarCraft 2, if you want to join me. Peace.